there. I'm in some pain today. We're gonna get through this. Procrastinating for too long. Head together. Got my notes, got my coffee, got my vape. So let's talk for a moment about Psalms. People like to argue back and forth, which translations are good, which translations not so good, which they prefer, which they don't. I get it. Reading the Psalter, unfortunately, can seem like a chore sometimes. It's a terrible fact of life. We should be reading them with holy fear and joy. And sometimes it's just hard to land on one that, when you're reading it, speaks to you. But you don't always have to read them. It's like a burp yawn thing. I'm not sleeping well. At any rate, there are numerous audio Psalters on the market, and we're going to go over a few of them today and discuss how useful they can be and where in your life you can work them in instead of just sitting around. And anyway, we'll do the intro and then we'll get into things. Welcome back, everybody, to Orthodox Review, the most uneducated educational program here on the internet today. I am your host, the guy with 1.5 thumbs, and I'm so very, very pleased to be here with you today. Delightful. As always, huge thank you to all my Patreon supporters, channel members, people that throw money in the tip jar. You're keeping me alive and kicking. And despite the fact that I don't eat a whole lot, I sit around too much, and I seem to be putting on weight. That's neither here nor there. Woo! If you'd like to help me continue this dumpster fire known as Orthodox Review, check the links below. And also, whatever we cover in this episode, links to that stuff will be below as well. And don't forget to stick around till the end, because I've been doing things. Okay, so on to the subject of hand. On to the subject at hand, audio Psalters. Now, there's a few of them out there. I've knocked the list down to 4 that I think are worthwhile. I got something in my tooth. Chicken. In the Orthodox Church, we have several recordings of the Psalter, chanted, sang, ba 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 ba. And you might be thinking to yourself, listen, I don't even like to sit down and read along with prayers. Why would I read along with the Psalter? You don't, okay? What I have found in my own experience and the experiences of others is that listening to the Psalms while you're working or doing nothing at all, it's good for you. It doesn't incite the passions the way music would. You're talking to a guy that sits on the front porch and listens to metal a lot. It's not good for you. It's not good for me. I should be listening to the Psalms more. Anyway, and my first experience with this was back when I was first becoming Orthodox, 11 years ago. There's a small little mini documentary on YouTube called From the Little Mountain, and it's a documentary about Hermitage of the Holy Cross. And in it, Father Benedict, I love Father Benedict, he mentions that, while he's working, they're allowed to listen to something on the headphones if they have them. And the Psalter is one of the things that he would listen to, and a lot of people do. And so I picked up the habit from there. And so it's just a good practice to get into. And I will get to which Psalter he was listening to, by the way. It's personally one of my favorites. But there are several audio Psalters on the market now, both free and purchasable, streaming, and a good deal of these can be found on YouTube for free, with ads or whatever. I've got a premium subscription. Thank you. You guys pay for that, so I don't have to deal with the ads. But anyway, the stuff is out there, so we're going to go through a few of them and discuss the pros and cons. I don't think there's any cons, but yeah. So let's let's get into that. So first up is the New Kid on the Block, which is an audio version of the St. Ignatius Orthodox Press Psalter, which is mostly that translation of Father Ephraim Lash. Side note, him and Callistos were pretty much responsible for the standard English translations over across the pond. So anyway, so let's read a little bit of the information on this one, and I'll flash something up on the screen right about now so you don't have to look at me reading. So this one came out like maybe a month ago, if that. It's 6 hours, 43 minutes long, and it is a digital download for $14.95. Plus tax, I guess. So it has the Psalms, the Odes, and the cell rule, which is the cell rule of, the Pantocrator Monastery. I forgot to write that part down. There is a sample available on the website, which you'll find that link below. It's chanted. And by chanted, it sounds like this.
Blessed is the man who has not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stood in the way of sinners, nor sat on the seat of the pestilent. But his will is in the law of the Lord, and on his law he will meditate day and night. He will be like a tree that has been planted beside streams of water, which will give its fruit in its season.
Very nice, very well done. And in fact, when I was talking to someone on the Discord server about it, they said it reminded them of the Serbian chanter they knew, but I don't know. Anyway, so that's a thing, and, so you get about 4.5 hours of continuous psalmody with those delightful kathisma prayers. So anyway, so that's the New Kid on the Block. It was released with very little aplomb, but, can't win them all. Anyway, the second one on the list is that of St. Romanos Hermitage. Hermitage! I said it correctly, Hermitage. And this one, actually, you have to find on SoundCloud. Let me pull it up. So as you can see here, it's all available on SoundCloud. Now, the thing about SoundCloud is you have to pay for a subscription to listen to things ad-free. Otherwise, you listen to things with ads. I personally don't much care for listening to the Psalms with ads in between, but here we go anyway, because this is probably the most amazing one on this list. So here's a picture. It is 11 hours, 49 minutes, and 31 seconds. Released in 2017 by St. Romanos Hermitage, which I think is in Michigan. Subscription for ad-free. It is the King James version of the Psalms, and they are sang. Worth noting, go back, I did an episode on a Psalter that's the King James version corrected for the Septuagint, but hey, if you just got your KJV laying around, you're in good company. But I want you to listen to this for a moment, and yeah, you're going to stop this video and you're probably just going to go listen to this, but listen to this.
Hast thou ordained strength because of thine enemies?
This is by far one of the most heartbreakingly beautiful renditions of the Psalms I've ever heard in my life. And I was very, very pleased to have finally come across it quite by accident. I was just digging around. And I've always wanted to hear the Psalms sang in an Orthodox fashion. I didn't know if that was a thing. Apparently it is. So if you're not just into chanting of the Psalms and you want to hear them sang, this is the way to go. And I am tempted, very, very tempted to pay for a subscription on SoundCloud just so I can listen to this whole thing nonstop. Because I can't think of a better way to spend my day. So I'm sitting here going through the Psalters I had for the episode. I totally forgot one. The Ancient Faith Psalter is also available on Audible, both chanted and read. It's good. It's really well done. The only issue that I have with the Ancient Faith Psalter is in this medium, it's going in the order according to the week and not just the Psalms 1 through 150. But outside of that, it's fantastic. I highly recommend it.
But overthrew Pharaoh and his host in the Red Sea, for his steadfast love endures forever. To him who led his people through the wilderness, to him who smote great kings and slew famous kings, for his steadfast love endures forever. Sihon, king of the Amorites, and Og, king of Bashan, for his steadfast love endures forever.
All right, back to what I was recording. The penultimate Psalter on our list is that of, it's from the Hermitage of the Holy Cross. Story time. The one from Hermitage of the Holy Cross, it's the HTM. It's this guy right here. That one that is so beloved by so many people. And it was read by Father Pantaleimon, who is now a professor somewhere, apparently, and is probably one you'll recognize. You've probably heard snippets of it before trolling around the internet. This was the one that Father Benedict was listening to. It's the one that I listened to the most, up until recently, of course, when I found the St. Romanos one. But it is, okay, you can stream it for free on YouTube. Like, so many people have uploaded it. But just in case you were wondering, it is 3 hours and 45 minutes long. So it is a no-frill Psalter. It's just chanted monotone straight through, with, the Trisaggi and everything at the proper moments. Let's see. It's $12 for a digital download from Hermitage of the Holy Cross, $24 for a CD, and I think it's, three or four CDs. It is chanted, and we're going to hear that right now because you gots to. Anyone who's also... Oh, they also have audio recordings of like morning and evening prayers and the preparation for communion. And you can find all these on YouTube, but I always highly recommend supporting the monastery anyway. They're trying to build a church. Come on.
Blessed is the Lord my God, who teacheth my hands for battle and my fingers for war. My mercy and my refuge, my helper and my deliverer. My defender is he, and in him have I hoped, who subjected my people unto me. O Lord, what is man that thou art made known unto him, or the son of man that thou takest account of him? Man is like unto vanity, his days like a shadow pass away.
Etc., etc. So it's very, you know what I mean? And if let's say you're working. You're at work, you're doing your thing. I don't know what you do for work. I don't work. I wish I worked. I miss working. Anyway, it's good for just like putting the Psalms in your head and just keeping something holy happening. Even listening to liturgical music sometimes can get you worked up. I know it gets me worked up. But a clear, steady recitation of the Psalms is great for working. Be even better if I had it memorized, so when I'm doing stuff I could just sing Psalms. Of course, I've got like the liturgy memorized, and I've got, the normal Vespers memorized. Memorized. I was thinking of matins. Anyway, so there is that. It's a meat and potatoes audio Psalter. The last one I would like to do. Oh gosh, did I save the link? Okay, the final one, actually I found recently, and it is from orthodoxreview.org. It is available for download for $19.95, or you can find it on YouTube. So it's posted online in several parts by the Orthodox Experience with Father Michael Lilly.
Great is his glory in thy salvation, glory and majesty shalt thou lay upon him. For thou shalt give him blessing forever and ever, thou shalt gladden him in joy with thy countenance. For the king hopeth in the Lord, and through the mercy of the Most High shall he not be shaken. Let thy hand be found on all thine enemies, let thy right hand find all that hate thee.
It's also the HTM. This version, what you'll notice in it is that there is some slight inflections when you get near the end of a psalm, which you hear in parish usage. So the whole Psalter for, what did I say, $19.95? It's not terrible. Of course, you can listen to it on YouTube as well. He does a fine job of it. I think it was from 2021, so it's only a couple years old. And OCRB.org has tons of cool stuff on it, by the way. So Sally Forth, go listen to some Psalms. Keep coming, pray a psalm, they say, right? Ooh, excuse me. So let's see, what surprise can I throw at you for the end of this episode? Folks, get out of here. Come on, what are you even watching this nonsense for? Thank you. All right, thank you. Links below. Check them out. And as always, on behalf of Spooky Cat and myself, we're praying for you. Please continue to pray for us. And don't forget to go to church, say your prayers, and remember God. God bless.